Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good day. Hello. Um, I hope everybody is woke up and stretched. Stretch, baby, stretch. Reach up, reach up high. Try to touch the sky and move your body a little bit. Wake up and get moving. Get moving even before you get out of bed. Take in some of the energy that you may feel. I know you may feel tired, but that's okay. Breathe in and breathe that out. Because what we're going to do is we are going to redefine or talk about redefining what it means to be a woman. And this conversation has nothing to do with men. And so they can exit the building. They're not going to be happy about this series that I'm going to be doing because I am going to be focusing more on women. Okay, I'm gonna be focusing on women, maybe some things that we can uh, do do right, whether we do it better or just do it. Period. And it's time to exhale all of that negative energy that some of us been hearing, seeping in our subconscious for years, coming from men. See, men do not get to identify or um, they get to identify, but they don't get to explain to us what a woman is. They don't even have the power to identify, explain to us what a man is. That's not what this is about. This world that we live in. And so we have a group of people, in our community who are totally against women. They don't want us to thrive. They don't want us to be happy. They don't want us to dance. They don't want us to sing. They definitely don't want to see us on any charts. They hate to see us going to the gym. They hate if we are okay in our skin to where we don't care so much if we don't have a man, you know? So I decided that yes, I am going to do a show. I guess I'll do my YouTube, get it back on par, back, up to par to conversations that we used to have. And they'll be a little more targeted, a little more focused. Okay. Um, they thought they hated me then. Uh, I don't think they will like when I become focused and really put my mind to doing something. Okay. They're not gonna like that. Hey, Miss Not For Everyone, how you doing? We don't care if we have just a few people over. I'm okay with if it's just me. Okay. Um, until I get everything situated and get it popping again. I do understand without the drama, a lot of people they're not gonna be down for it because we gotta understand the truth of the matter is the drama sells. The yelling, fussing, and cussing sells. You know what I mean? So without a lot of that, people not gonna come over. Even the ones who say the conversations are always the same. The conversations are always the same. You know what I mean? They they really truly want that type of conversation. Hey Letitia, how you doing? Yeah, because if we didn't want those type of conversations or, you know, we wouldn't be in those areas. Now, truth be told, um, it does get tiring. You know, I've been searching and trying to figure out, what I was gonna do. That's why I started picking up hobbies. But it's getting expensive picking up all these hobbies. Listen, it's very expensive picking hobbies. Like when I could just really just decide what I want to do on YouTube and just do it. Now, some of my main reasons for not being on here and just doing what I want to do is mainly because I figured they have younger people, you know, on here who want to take a stab at it. And I was like, okay, we're gonna let them do their thing. Like, not that I ever was stopping it, but I'm just saying I can't do what I'm doing and be supportive of them if we're on at the same time. So, I stepped back. I saw quite a few younger people coming in the space, uh, in particular women. I don't give a damn about the men. Um, and I was like, okay, we have some people and they want to take a stab at it. Now, the thing is that most of these people are not new. They've been here for a while, you know. They've been here for a while, so I guess, I started thinking, well, okay, then, let me move out the way. But what I don't like is when they try to think that they want to push me out the way for clout, because they know I wasn't even in their way from the beginning. But I digress because I'm trying not to go down that road. We probably gonna end up there later though. We gonna end down that messy trail later. Y'all know how it is, right? You walk down the road or you drive down the street and you go everywhere you want to go, right? All the classy places you want to go. You do it. You go to work. You leave work. You may have some money in your pockets. You go to the mall or shopping. You go, back in the day, because people don't really go out to the malls like that anymore. But on your way home, you gotta go to the hood. Why? Because you want to go get some of that soul food, baby. You want to stop at one of them soul food restaurants and you thinking, damn, I gotta go on the east side. I gotta go on the west side, the south side, whatever side that opposite of where you live, you gotta go to a whole nother area to go get some of that good food that JP claimed that we don't eat at them nasty restaurants that JP claimed are nasty. I, man, I've never seen somebody be so against their own kind, especially when they themselves is trying to get into the food business. They know that you cannot be nasty like that. You know why? Because they had to go through um, training, and when they was selling food, they know people pop up on them. Now, maybe because, he done got closed down a couple of times from my understanding. Don't quote me on it. That's what I thought I heard. Now, I thought I heard it from him, you know, but I could be wrong. It could be just a rumor. So I'm going to just sit it to the side. I'm going to sit it to the side. And because he'll sure come up, he'll pop out like a boogeyman. Bam! He'd be like, Bomb Cherry, why you lying on me? But like, JP, I'm not, that's what I heard. He'd be like, no. And then he'll explain what happened. And it'll usually be pretty much the same thing I said, but my wording would be different. And, a lot of people don't understand summary, paraphrasing. They don't understand those things. And I'm going to be honest, I can't say what somebody said word for word. I can't even do it if they was up here. If you was up here right now, anybody, and you said something, anything, right, besides good morning or something, like a statement like that. But let's say you 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 told me something and you asked me to repeat it. I will repeat it in my own way. And that's because that's how they taught us. They taught us to be ourselves. They taught us paraphrasing because anything other is you just copying. So, but in this space with these uneducated men, right, and some of these women as well, um, they will say, no, no, I didn't say that, because they expect you to use their exact words. They want you to use their exact words. And uh I can't do that. I'm actually actively listening to you. I'm not listening to you so I can repeat exactly what you said. That would take a lot of energy. But I'm listening to you so I can see the point that you're making. You know what I mean? So I can see the meaning of what you are saying. So ladies, you know, when we listen, it's supposed to be we're listening to understand. So you, and now you don't have to agree, but sometimes you may find that you agree when you're listening to understand. Because for the most part, I don't tell people what to do. For the most part, I'm not telling anybody that they're wrong about what people do. What I'm disagreeing with for the most part in a lot of these spaces, um, and comments, is when they're being so specific, right? Like when they saying most people do this, most people do that. And then I say, no, that's not true. I'm not saying that that there aren't people who do whatever they said. I'm just saying that the most part is incorrect. Okay. We can say people like to jump rope, but if somebody come up here and say, Cherry, nobody knows how to jump rope, which these men will do that. Nobody knows how to jump rope. And I'll be like, um, but that's not true, right? And then see, they the ones who they don't understand that they making it uh so specific, right? They putting a number on it, or they when they said no one. I know they don't mean 100%. See, it's sad that I have to say that. We know that there's nothing that's 100%, right? And even when I say nothing that's 100%, even that's false. There's some things that are 100%, but it's so small in number that it doesn't even, when we have a conversation like this, it doesn't even uh matter. It's not important enough to mention. But you know, um we act like there's nobody outside anymore. So back to the jump rope example, we have people who go to the gym and one of their cardio plus strengthening is the jump rope. I see kids here and there, not like they used to be, jumping rope. Double Dutch has gotten back in a little bit. I, you know, I see I see little jump rope competitions going on, trying to start up again. And so to say no one is doing it is not true. Include my sons jump rope. Right? They jump rope for exercise. My son, if he don't go to the gym, he'll grab his rope, go outside, and be walking, and then I'll see him jump rope. He's doing it for cardio. Um, so this is an example that I'm using. I'm not so normally when y'all hear me saying no, that's not true, I'm I'm actually kind of saying it's not true that no one does it or a lot of people don't do it. And see, a lot of things like me mentioning that double dutch, right? Or jump rope, right? Most of us probably don't see lots of people jumping rope. You know what I mean? We don't see it. And but just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? Good morning, Queen. The teacher said, exactly. I like food place that's 22 miles from me. I'd be like, but you having real convos brought people to you. I agree. I agree. Thank you for that. Having real conversation did bring people to me. That is true. I had to, I forgot about that because we was having real good conversations. People came over, but then the fighting seems to have become the most important thing to some. You know what I mean? But and then I start caring about what other people, the group want to do, and that's when I start getting, it start wearing me out. To be, for me to do what I want to do is cool. You know, when I start wanting to do what other people may want me to do, yeah, that's tiring. Okay. But anyway, so let's talk about modern femininity. And in order to do that, we gotta figure out what femininity means because these men don't know. They don't know. It's actually just as simple as you being a woman. That's it. It doesn't mean being weaker. It doesn't mean being, damsel in distress. When we've had, and when I say we, I'm talking about in the world. I'm talking about humanity, okay? In this stance. I'm talking about the world. So I guess maybe instead of saying we, I'll say they have had queens who were in charge of entire um areas. They was in control of everything. When I say that to these men, they try to overlook it. And then they'll say, yeah, but the men were the fighters. And there are some queens who was actually out there fighting with her men. Like she wasn't at home safely hidden and protected inside of a castle. She was going with her men, with with the army, you know. So she was there to tell how else a king cannot just be sitting on a throne and everybody is out there fighting. The king got to get out there too. He may not have to fight. He needs to be there so he could let people know what he want to do, what the plans are. It still happens today with the president of the United States. He's not a soldier out there, but and that's due to technology. He's able to watch the missions from a room in the safety of the White House. But that's due to technology. So what I'm speaking about when we speak about kings and queens, we know we're talking about way back when, hundreds of years ago. Okay. These men don't know that though. You know what I found is that they pick up little pieces of this information, that information, this information, and they don't even know what time frame they're speaking on. Okay. And so when I'm having a discussion with them and I ask them what time frame, the reason I do that is so I can know because they may be what they're saying may be true, but it may not because it depends on the time frame. Like yesterday, someone said that men men didn't control other men in our community. And then he said because black men couldn't have guns. Now, this same person, I've heard him say, or not even just him, I'm not going to focus on anybody in particular, but I'm only doing that because we had this conversation yesterday, but these same men say, yeah, these young kids, they got guns. We used to fight. So if they used to fight, right? If they used to fight, then when I asked the question back then, why didn't men do what they need to do? I asked him, was it men or women who dropped the ball? He said it was women. And I said, why? And he said, because back then, black men, black people couldn't have guns. So wait a minute. So the men needed guns to take care of the issue, but the women was left to take care of the issue by themselves. Because if he's saying black men wasn't able to have guns, then that means nobody had a gun, right? So now why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of your own sons? Especially if he can't have a gun. But so I didn't really get to break that down all the way because, he likes to talk over. We can have a great conversation. The problem is um, when the brain is scattered and they just know bits and pieces. And people born in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, I do understand that you think the 60s was a long, 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 long time ago. Because it was to you, right? But the slavery didn't end in the 60s. Somebody said that to me um maybe about 4 years ago on a panel, and I'm not joking. And also somebody said that Black Wall Street, they told me that Black Wall Street happened in the 60s also. I was I was on I was in somebody's area. What is her name? She didn't want to move to Africa. They may have moved back because, let me tell y'all something. American citizens, black, white, or whatever, right? If you was born and raised here, you live most of your life here. And when I say here, I'm talking about in the U.S. Do not let anybody gas you up and think you're going to move to another country. Do not let them do that. Uh, they haven't done their research. Okay. They haven't done their research and they only talk about when they're there to on vacation. When you're there on vacation, you might be able to do things and get away with it just because you're a tourist. You're a tourist, you will be able to get away with it. And because those people allow tourism for money, right? They want money to flow in their country, just like we want money to flow in our country. As long as you don't break no major rules as a tourist, you good. Okay. And so what I'm saying, they may look like you over there having fun and it's beautiful. There's beautiful places here in the US. You could go to many states, and if you find where the tourism is, you can find some beautiful places. You could go to the desert and find something that's interesting. It'll be hot. You know what I mean? It don't mean you want to move there though. It don't mean you want to move there. So what's happening though? Y'all should see the exodus of American people from Africa back to the US. Yeah, look, they believed that they wanted it to be so peaceful. They believed they wanted to be off the grid. They believed, right? They thought their money will get them far over there. And yes, your money will get you further over there. The thing is, you're not gonna have the luxuries that you spoiled to have. You if your internet's struggling, you might be able to get over that. You, but you might not be able to have air conditioning. You might move to. I think that woman was complaining. within like 6 months. Uh, Look, they had a beautiful house in Africa because with the money, with the pensions that our husband was getting, them being on the internet, even the little money you might get every month goes a long way in certain countries in Africa, right? But you in a area that may not be well developed. Now, let me tell you this: there's some places in Africa where it is expensive. The the well developed countries in Africa. I can show you. I can pull up some well developed countries in Africa, but they have good infrastructure. You know what I mean? They have tall buildings. They have businesses over there, and they're thriving as far as their country is concerned. Okay, that's what they're doing. But anyway, back to the different type of women, or the different type of modern femininity. You determine what your femininity is, but being feminine is just that, being a woman. That's it. And so these men are screaming, be a woman, be a woman. Or they just saying these women aren't women. But they, you know what I mean? But what does it take to be a woman? We already know that. Okay, we already know that. We know they determine our whether we're a woman or not is whether we have certain anatomy. Right? That's how it's determined. Now, and to be politically correct, my conversations on womanhood is not politically correct. I'm not focused on none of that. Okay. No, as as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna speak for how I see things, not so much see them, but what I see in the world. A lot of. There's a lot of things I don't see. Okay, unless I'm online, and you see, that's the reason why our communities are going to hell because we are looking at what other people are doing, saying that has nothing to do with us for real in our everyday active life. And then we are made to either accept it, but you don't have to accept something that's not there. It's not even a part of your world. You don't have to not accept it or accept it, basically, is what I'm saying. Because it's something that doesn't concern you unless you want it to. Now, if you want it to concern you, then now it is part of your world. It's something that you want in your world. You made the decision. You see what I'm saying? So, um, but other people want you to make decisions. They want you to take stance. And usually it'll be somebody who want you to run with their narrative. And so I don't have a narrative. I'm not listening to nobody else's narrative. And I just say, hey, if, if it don't harm me and mine, the community, then I don't care what other people do. What you eat is when I go to the bathroom is not gonna come out of me. You know, who you love and who you hug on and who you pay attention to. I don't care about none of that. I just hope everybody is happy. You know, um, I hope happiness for myself, and I hope happiness for others. That's just as simple as I am. I am quite a simple person for real. I truly do hope that people are having great days. I truly hope that when you woke up, you know that you felt like moving forward in life. Because there's a lot of people who don't feel like going through another day, let alone another hour. They don't want to go through life. They for some reason I don't know what the reasons is, or I guess you would have to ask the individual. They don't feel like being here anymore, and that's scary to me. You know, it's scary to me that some young people might be here, not in pain. They're not sick. It's not like they're tired of being sick and things like that. But they decide they just don't want a life no more. Yep, like Randy say, life is a blessing. Cheap, cheap or not, no one moving to Africa. Only 1% of people do that from America. Okay, 1%, dude. People are doing it, and I didn't say a lot of people was doing it. My point was the people who do it, um, they end up coming back. That's all I was saying. Like Randy, you seem like you can have, like, I noticed that when you type in the room, you know how to type what you mean. You know what I mean? I know I be cracking on you. That's because you crack on me. I don't have no problem with that. But if you can just, like, if you just stating it because you want to state it, cool. I'm you know I'm good with that. You're right. You're right, Randy. Okay. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm reading that maybe you thought I said something. But I need to look at things a little different too, right? That's why I don't like reading the chat, y'all. I promise you I don't like reading the chat. Because Randy may be just saying, hey, I know you mentioning that people move to Africa, but it's not many people doing it. And he's right. It's a small amount of people doing it. Now y'all know why I don't read the chat, because sometimes I read a comment and I don't I don't be knowing it. Like, it's a person trying to kind of come for me. Like, are you trying to correct me? That's why I like when y'all come on the panel, because we got the conversation. And if somebody say, "Well, Bomb, not a lot of people move to Africa," and I'll be like, "Yeah, you're right." You know. Anyway, so let me see. Randy said, "Did you get any sleep?" I'm sure you sound tired. I know I sound tired. What's happening is I did get some sleep. I think I'm not tired though. It's my voice. And for the women, I know you're a man, Randy, so you don't care. But for the women, my voice, this is due to menopause, right? So find that my voice is cracking, and because I talk so much, because I'm talking every day online, right? You'll hear me clearing my throat because it's like it's dry. So in the beginning, I'm 10 years in this. I keep wondering when this gonna go away, y'all. Mm, I just want y'all to know what y'all in for, ladies. Okay. It- Listen, no, I'm going through it. You know what I mean? Um, and I originally they didn't think, because of my family history with cancer. Um, I had to do a whole lot of tests just to get hormone therapy. Okay, hormone therapy. and um and I didn't want to do all that testing. COVID hit right when I decided I was gonna do all the testing. COVID hit, and then bam, slowed down my motion, baby, my upward mobility to go and get something to help it. But I didn't. So I've been talking about this ever since I started getting hot flashes actively. I've been telling y'all about it. Y'all can actually go back and hear my videos um 8 years ago, 5 years ago, and you can see the difference in my voice. Okay. You can hear the perimenopause is getting on my nerves. Girl, you got well, wait till your full-fledged menopause. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. See, I started having heat flashes when I was still in my 30s, but it would be like once every blue moon, like maybe once or twice a year, I would just break out in a sweat. Bam. Okay. But I think that I'm not sure, like, I used to think I was having heat flashes, but really I suffer from PTSD and PTSD, suffer from panic attacks that come with the PTSD, the panic attacks. What I know now is that when I would break out in sweat like that, when I'm thinking, oh my God, what the hell is this? I must be going through menopause because I've always heard of this thing called heat flashes. And I heard that women would just boom, just break out in, like, it feels like you hot from the inside. You know what I mean? And there's nothing you can do about it. But um I used to break out in the sweat. I'll be there sweating like a pig. You ever seen? I don't know if anybody ever really noticed it. Uh, but I would be standing there and sweat would drip, just boom, just pop out and just be dripping. Now, I'm assuming that now what I know is that that was my panic attack because with the hot flashes, I don't sweat. Like I don't sweat like I was doing it with like a pig, from the brow of my face just start dripping down my eyes out of nowhere. It could be storm, it could be freezing outside, and I could be outside, and bam, I just start sweating like that. I now know that was me having a panic attack. That's how my panic attack comes. Um, if I'm around people, then it's like that. If I'm not around people, then I get in panic mode, and yeah, it's bad. It can be bad. Some people pass out. I don't pass out. I really, yeah, I don't pass out, but I become really panicked, and my panic in a situation that I shouldn't be will hurt somebody, depending on what I'm doing when they hit. Okay. And the first one that I had that scared the crap out of me, I was driving to Philadelphia on 95. The speed limit, um, I think it was at the time it was like it was 55, and then when you got to a certain point, it turned to 60. It was like maybe 10 o'clock at night. I was on the way to one of my parties. Okay. So it was about 10:30. The traffic wasn't there was no traffic. And so that means I ain't gonna lie, I'm wide open. I'm driving. And I'm not the only one. We driving fast, baby. And I was I was in the fast lane because so there's 295, 495 that all ends up at 95 at a certain point. I was on I was on 95, and 95 does a split in Wilmington. Okay. Now you know what I'm talking about, Letitia. 95 does a split. It does this in a lot of cities where these interstate highways start splitting, especially if and they usually do like a circle. So I had an option to take, think 495, or I could have stayed straight through Wilmington on 95. And so what happened, instead of me going 495, I took I stayed on 95 instead of me taking the split off. Now, what happens when they merge back together, when 95 and whatever split off 495 merge back together, if I'm on 95, I'm in the fast lane, even if I wasn't in the fast lane already. When it does the merge, though, I'm in the fast lane. That means I'm on the right, right? Actually, I'm on the left. I'm on the left, and because the other side is merging from the right. Right at when they start doing the merge, yo, I started having a panic attack. I don't even know why. Maybe because I'm going to have a party. I never figured out why I had that panic attack because everything was okay. I was trying to get there. so I could get the hotel room, get everything I need to get. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden, I panic. And the panic was, oh shit, you about to have an accident. Yo, I listen, I don't understand. That's the first and only time that ever happened while I was driving. Um, there's a wall. Is you know how some of the highways have this? I don't know why it is there because they actually have grass in the middle, but they had these walls. Maybe they was doing work late night and they just had them to the side. I don't know. Something said you about to hit that wall. So then I was too scared to look over my shoulder to move to the right. And so that's when I started. I was like, "Oh shit, you about to hit this wall." Um, people was I panicked so much, I just slowed down. I'm no longer going fast, which is speed limit, and I'm in the fast lane though, and everybody going to the right of me to pass me. It was crazy. It was crazy work. I'll never forget that. I had to take my very much time, take a breather. I had to, I had to calm myself down because I'm like, you gonna die if you don't. You gonna die, or you gonna kill somebody else. I'm like, you gonna kill somebody. S- Start breathing, bitch. Start breathing. Breathe, relax, breathe, relax. I said, don't be scared to look in the rearview mirror. I was scared to even look up at the rearview mirror because I thought if I took my eyes off the road, it's over. Okay, that's how scared I was. That's the panic attack, though. And so I look in the rearview mirror, and that's how I see everybody slow down. I think people noticed. They probably didn't know what was going on, but they noticed something was going on with the car or me, right? And so then people slowed down, and then I was able to get over and get to the shoulder. Man, I had to get to the shoulder and comb my goddamn head. That shit was crazy. My husband used to be catching my husband be catching bullets. I'd be irritated for no reason. I am night sweats. I I realize I sometimes snap on hubby. You know what? Um, he don't say nothing. he don't say he don't say nothing. That's why I love that. Listen, Queen girl, if these men can deal with us when we might just it could be anything. I said something to him the other day, and girl, I be arguing about shit that done happened 20 years ago. I be to mention it, and he won't say nothing. And then that upsets me. I'll be like, you ain't got nothing to say. And he'll say, Lavanya, how long ago was that? I'll be like, it don't matter. It happened. And girl, he'll let me get it all out. He really gets silent. I could tell he kind of tones out. And I say, are you listening to me? And he'd be like, I'm listening. And then I'll ask him, what did I say? And then he'll say what I said. And then I start realizing, what are you arguing about? I have to notice it myself. But girl, he is, oh my God. I don't know why. And I think that's but see, these men, right? These men never experienced this. Oh, let me plug this up. They use it against all women, and then they act like we're doing it. They don't understand it's a chemical imbalance with our bodies and brains. But so your loved one who loves you, these men will be like, yeah, if I was a man, I wouldn't put up with it. If I was your husband, I wouldn't put up with it. Yeah, but you're not my husband who loved me. You're not my husband who understands that this is something, this is not what he's been dealing with all of our marriage. So something must be going on. And my husband is in the medical field, so he has an understanding of what's going on. And by the way, some of you know that I'm going through menopause. And I, because I've let y'all know for quite a few years now. I'm like, and I might have to come back on this piece and apologize. You know what I mean? And be like, y'all, like that's why I forgive people. People wonder why I forgive people who have done and said some things. People wonder that. But you know why I do that? Because I'm one of those people who might need for I might need you to forgive me. I think it's only fair. Right? I might need y'all to forgive me. Some of y'all have forgiven me, okay? Y'all, sometimes I may have said some wild ass shit on this piece. And people have given me grace. And because of that, that is why. That is why I and sometimes I give people too much grace. Y'all would say no, Bomb. He or she does it all the time. You know what I mean? Like y'all be like, nah, um, they do it all the time. They really believe that. And they be like, we know you don't really mean that when you said that. And it's true. Like, which is why, some of the things that people was like, Bomb, like, you shouldn't have said that. Look, I'm going through menopause. I'm me being mad and going through menopause, baby, no telling what the hell might come out my mouth. My feelings maybe I feel valid at the time, you know. Hey, ABT, how you doing? Randy said we must let the past be the past. I'm okay with it, Brad. I don't really have no problem with the past being the past, you know. And hey, how you doing, ABT? She said every now and then they would get upset and tell her she better hush or shut up. Yeah. Look, I remember one of my grandfather saying to my grandmother, "Hush, old lady." Look, she going in on him. We don't even know what's going on. We just see grandma yelling at grandpa when she never did pretty much. And he would just and he would be trying to go about his business. And she'll say something to him. And you know how you throw your hand down like, hush, old woman, hush, old lady, you know. And he didn't say it in a bad way. You could tell he just like trying to get away. That's it. He's not trying to get on a nerve anymore. And he just saying he gone. He leaving. And he would go and sit his ass in that yard. Okay. He gonna sit in the yard. Hey, Wanda, good morning to you. Yes. Um, yes, but I'm going through menopause. Now listen, I'm just saying that's why I do be forgiving people. I be recognizing that something could have happened, or even, you know, but sometimes y'all be like, no, Bob, they do that all the time. And I don't be seeing it because I don't be there all the time, you know? So not until I see it, you know what I mean? Like I used to think like Jay Prince was doing skits. Cause I started off going over there. He was doing skits. He would have the wig on his head. So like that I think that's why I ended up liking him. I was like, oh, he's not even scared to put a wig on and do a skit. And so I felt like, yeah, he's doing skits. He doing and saying things that get people, get they go, get them riled up. You know, um, he's the only one who's saying no, Bob. I'm always real. Okay, he keeps saying that, and people believe it. Okay, I don't believe it because I know better. I know he a lot of times he's joking, but then there are times when he's not joking. So anyway, modern femininity, right? The woman, the woman of today. Okay. By the way, the word modern means today. It means the women, this period of time that we are currently in. That's what modern means. If you go and I could find articles in the 60s where they was talking about the modern woman then. I think I saw an article in the 30s when they was talking about the modern woman then as well. Um, Today, the only a group of women, I'm sorry, a group of men started to classify women as modern women as an insult. And then we ended up having a group of women called trad wives, I guess. Because I guess that to be traditional, I guess you had to be a wife in order to be traditional, which is not true. Women, women did not. All women didn't get married in the past. When people say we had a lot of marriage in our community, that is not the same thing as everybody got married. Okay, and but people will say things and make it seem like things weren't a way that they weren't. Okay. Um, all men didn't get married, all women did not get married. And then there was divorce. Hold up. Let me drink something. Okay. Um, there was divorce. They've been divorced for a very long time. Um, and there was no, from in most cases, there's no benefit to divorce back then. You know, when divorce became significant, um, when men, right? Because a man would he would leave his wife. He would leave his wife, or she would leave him, and he would just in he. They wouldn't get divorced though, because the government was always involved in relationships, and so if he when he divorced her, it did trigger child support. She could take him to court for support of her and the whole family because he made that commitment. That's what the vows are for. Vows, I know they seem like they were nothing, but today they are nothing. Today, a vow means nothing. Back then, you was actually vowing, almost like on God. You was doing this on God that you will do whatever it is you said in your vows, right? And and so you got married. The government gonna hold you to it. Um, Now what you do and not do, that's up to you. But when you get divorced, when they get involved, then you can't just leave your wife destitute. This is what the problem happened though. People wasn't getting divorced. He wouldn't get divorced because he knows what he's in for. He knows a judge gonna make some decisions about his money. Okay, he would let her. They will remain married until they die, and she would get benefits as if she was his like wife the whole time. They don't care if y'all was living together or nothing. Legally, on paper, y'all married. Okay, but something happened in the 90s. I think it was the 90s. It may have been the 80s, but I think it was the 90s. Something happened. Government. I think it was the 90s actually, maybe late 90s, when the government said, okay, um, ladies, if you need to get assistance, we need to find out who the dad is because he needs to take care of his kids, right? He needs to take care of his kids. So when women went to get when the women went to get assistance, they gave a name. They had to. They had to. These men act like women went to go try to destroy them. No, like the man was gone. And the woman didn't care. She wouldn't even name you. She would just be like, he's not with me no more. It could be as simple as saying, it used to be as simple as saying, yeah, he left me and the kids. Okay. Whether he did or did, that's all it took. And they would help a woman and the children. Then they started saying, uh-uh, nope, nope, nope. um, I just say, yep. I had family members who wouldn't divorce because their husbands was in the service and they wanted to receive the benefits from them, especially in debt. Yes, Wanda. Yes. You know, like what is the purpose of divorce? Unless you want to get married to someone else, right? I just saw a story. Damn, I didn't save it neither. Damn, I should have saved it. I might be able to find it on my Facebook. I may have shared it. Um, so uh the the oldest guy who was in World War II, right? Yeah, World War II. He just passed away. Well, no, 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 no. I'm wrong. Let me fix that. I'm sorry, y'all. The guy who a guy who was in World War II, his wife just passed away. And people was like, wait, World War II was a very long time ago. So how old is she? Like what the world? So I'm thinking this woman 130 some years old, right? I think it was World War II. Um, and so no, they told the story. The story was her there was a man who was a neighbor of this woman when she was a kid, right? They were neighbors. He knew their family, her family, and everything. He went to World War II. He survived. He came back. He was harmed. Maybe he had what they used to call shell shock or whatever they called it back then, and other issues. And so they hired um, the little girl, when she was young. He hired her. She would just go there. Actually, she would just go and help him. He didn't hire her. She would just go and help him. Um, so it's like neighborly stuff, you know what I'm saying? So as she got older, he was getting older. She was still going over there, assisting him, helping him, like neighbors do. And then when he got really old, he was like 80, 90 years old, something in that time frame. And she was only like, I think she was like 16, 17. He, they got married. Now, he married her, but not on no love anything. He married her to help her because he got a stipend. He got a check every month. And if she married him, she would get that. And I think they said it was something like $60, like between $60 and $70 a month is what he was getting. And she would get it. So he married her so she could get that money. All her life, she got that money. All her life. He passed away and she got his money for all her life. Okay. So you got to understand, people understood that it was the government versus them. You know what I mean? People helped each other. And so when we do hear of older men even marrying younger women, we don't know the particulars about it. Because at first I was thinking, wait, she was just 16 when this man married her. And then she explained everything. She said, yeah, like he married me uh just so I could get his benefits. Just so I could get his benefits. So sometimes we gotta know the circumstances, you know. Like I do understand when women have allowed their husbands to have other wives, you know. If it's something they they were raised doing and thinking that's okay, then that's the mindset they have. They think that's okay. You know, I wasn't raised that way, so I don't think that's okay. But there was a time when I was thinking I want a big family. I think watching there's a TV show called I think it's still on. I heard it's nothing but messy right now. Man, I look, if them people messy, if their situation got messy on TV, I'm thinking, good God. Cody always looked like he was, wasn't really being as fair as the women were saying. Janelle, Janelle was cool and quiet. She was, but when we get older ladies, you could go watch some of the TV show. You can see how people change. You know, um, we become a little more confident. We love ourselves a little more too. We understand the world more. You know what I mean? We're not chasing views. I'm using that as an example, but like when you're younger, you're worried about how you dress because you're worried about how people look at you. You care if somebody give you a compliment so much to where you might dress in the tips of getting compliments. You know what I mean? You're not dressing the way you want to dress, how you like to dress, in the things that you like. You dressing for others, you know. And then you get a little older, a little mature, you start learning about what you like, you know. you start you start trying to figure out what you like. Like right now, even though I'm talking on my TV, I have a lady, she's making earrings from scratch, right? Um, I like the idea of making the earrings. Actually, I make jewelry, right? I make jewelry. I just have it. I have all kinds of stones. I have the whole sets. I got into jewelry making maybe about 20 years ago. I have all that stuff downstairs. I just haven't made anything in a while. Okay. But so I'm watching her and they're cute, but they're just not my style. She uses African fabrics, right? I don't know what it is about the African fabric, those patterns, but I don't like it. Some and I see people wearing it and it looks so good. You know what I mean? Like it's just not me. And I be wondering why isn't it me? I don't know why. I'm just not drawn to the patterns that they have. I'm not drawn to the colors, if that makes sense. That's what it's more like. If I would patterns, I'm okay with the patterns. I'm just not okay with those two different bold colors together, like a big ass red and a bold ass green together. You know what I mean? To me, I don't like that. Bold ass red and bold ass green together. Ooh, that's pretty too. If I showed you what she made, and she makes it using fabrics. to make her earrings using fabrics. I I never made my earrings making fabrics. I made my earrings making cardboard. Um, I have made a pair of fabric earrings, but I was following the YouTube channel. But hold on a second. I got,
cabinet without removing the cabinet and the vanity.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So what you say go in the cabinets?
correct.
Okay.
The cabinet
Uh-huh.
behind the cabinet to expose the pipes.
Okay. So the way you did it though, when you moved the shower, you don't they
That
they
was a different leak. That was a different leak.
right, that's what yeah. But you know when the pressure people came here, they still saw them leaking over there, but they looked at the meter and saw the meter wasn't running. So they was like,
Oh my God!
you know what I mean?
I thought they pressured it. You will never pick up this kind of leak. I thought they hooked up the equipment to pressure test the system.
They did. They said and
They
they
did.
yeah. And they said that it wasn't us. They said it might be the neighbor next door to us, but I don't know if they ever let them test over there. So they wasn't. They didn't answer the door when I knocked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like nobody, a lot of incompetent people just push the blame around. That's all.
Yeah.
But let's see what this guy can find, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. So yeah, because we just put the stuff back in that closet so I could reach that. Because we thought Hilbert just put it back in day before yesterday, and so I got to get in there and turn the water off at the main.
Please, yes. Whenever you're not using the water actively, yes, please turn it off.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh Lord, y'all. A lot is going on. Listen, a lot is going on. A lot is going on. We gonna get sued, maybe. we gonna get. We don't know what's going on, and we gonna get sued, maybe. Okay, we done everything we can do, and so we did everything we could do to make sure everything was good. We was on it from the rip. We hired somebody to come out and check, and they gave us the AOK. So I guess if we get sued, we gonna sue that company. And the insurance gonna take care of it, I hope. But the insurance, oh, let me tell you, when you're dealing with insurance, baby, let me tell you, when you're dealing with insurance, they don't want to pay nothing. I'm not even talking about. So my insurance only gonna pay if it's on us. They insurance want trying to get our insurance to pay for some shit. I was like, look, you did. I was like, we had it tested. Our insurance paid for them people to come out to get it tested, and they said that it was not us. And they're gonna use the same company that we use because that's the only company that does that kind of test. And oh my God, I feel sorry for the neighbor, but I don't know what the. I shouldn't have to keep turning my water off at the main because their house is flooding. And if their house is flooded from us, it don't make sense that their house is flooding from our pipes, but our house isn't flooding from our pipes. And when I went to their house, their whole living room was filled with water. Now, if their whole living room is that soaked up from our pipes, then our side would be wet like that also. So it's three of us share a wall, three of us. And two of us has tested. We know it's not us. There's a whole nother person who haven't been tested. And they keep wanting to come over here and now they want to cut through my walls. uh, they want to cut through the walls. And they only giving me one, they're not even giving me a day's notice. I'm only finding out now. I'm finding out now that they want to cut the walls today. I don't know about this. I gotta think about it. And the hubby he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. They said they spoke to him yesterday. I'm not gonna call him. and yell at him. I'm not gonna call him and yell at him. I want to call him and yell at him and be like, "You did not tell me this." I had to tell him, "Look, they got to talk to me because they got to talk to me." Yeah. Look, look, these men be thinking because you don't work at a job, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean they think that means you don't do nothing. I do everything other than go to work. Okay. I gotta, if something go wrong in the home, if something go wrong with anybody, if anybody gets sick, I'm the one they call. I make the appointments. Okay. I have all the information. If somebody in this house gets sick right now, they'll call me from their room and ask me, do I have this? Do I have that? Mom, do you have any an acid? Mom, do you have the thermometer? Mom, do you have this? Mom, do you have that? Okay. One of my sons was sick the other day. What he was getting up to go to work, and he had a stomach cramp. He said he had gas. He thought he had gas, so I gave him an acid. Told him how to take it the correct way, and then he threw up. I said, "Okay." I said, "Call your job. Tell them you're not coming in." I had to let him know, even though he's sick, he got to muster up. He got to muster up the energy between the episodes of vomiting and call them people because you cannot do a no call, no show. Okay. Oh, my nose. I'm allergies. When you're a mother, you become everything. Okay. When you're a mother, you become the doctors, the nurses. You don't become the surgeons, y'all. Don't be seeing a broken bone and think you can just split it up. Okay, take them goddamn kids where they need to go. Okay, but you got to make sure you got everything that might come up. You got to have some vitamin C in your house, some potassium in your house. You got to have band-aids in your house. You you have to have the tubs in your house. Or back in the day, used to be the pink stuff called Pepto Bismol. Okay, you know they have changed. People have gotten away from Pepto Bismol, and I don't know why. Because you could go in the Dollar Tree or Walmart and buy something called the uh, for upset stomach. You know that a lot of that stuff is fake. You buy it and it do not work. Allergies, y'all. They got a juice in this. I'd rather be my nose than in my throat like last year. Anyway, so anyway, some I think we do have some herbalists or people who know about herbs and vitamins and things like that over here on them to see if I can get them up. We'll talk about it, ladies. What's good for us, you know. I don't want to get into it because I don't know much about it. But what I will tell you is though, you could go and if you got an upset stomach with and you don't have no antacids, no real ones, then go and make you a concoction with baking soda. Okay. Baking soda uh grabs the acid. As soon as it hits your belly, it will dissolve any acid that's in your stomach. Okay. So that's what Tums is. Tums is baking soda in these little pills. They put a little flavor on it, but basically that's what it is. Pepto Bismol was so good because when it would go down, it would coat your stomach. You could feel it. I used to be able to feel it. going down. It tasted okay, wasn't really bad. And it would coat your belly and it would knock down the acid right away. It's almost like I could feel it almost instant. These days they give you something and it take a while. You take it, and the reason they do that because they about money. And so, because I bought hubby bought me something. They were pink. I have them right here actually. I can't tell what the name of it is. Let me see what it's called. I can't read that, y'all. That's crazy. My eyes, it's not like they used to be. Let me look. I'm gonna look through my phone and see what this is called. I gotta go through the camera and look. It's called Ultra Strict Gas Reliever. That's the name. Ultra Strict. I think he got this from Walgreens too. It probably was their brand of gas reliever. This shit do not work at all. Okay, do not buy it. Do not buy it. We need to know the active ingredients in things so we'll know if it'll work because they will sell you something. Put something and it won't work. And they know you're not gonna go and say, hey, this don't work. You're not gonna take it back and say it don't work. And they know this. They know American people don't do that, especially with medicine and things like that. We're not gonna go give it back. We gonna just keep it, and it's gonna be in our cabinets. Or most of the time we're not gonna throw it away because we might think that it might be us. We'll think, oh, it's something else. It must not be, that we need to relieve gas. Uh, and then we'll say, oh, maybe we need to go to the doctors. Then they got something called Pepsi. That shit is high as hell. That's why I ended up with this. You can pay $32. Let me tell you something. Grab you some baking soda. and if you don't believe me, try testing the glass. Put something acidic in the glass. Use water first. Put some lemon in the water. Shake it up. You'll see the acid build up. And then put some baking soda on it, and you'll watch it dissolve that shit quick upon contact. And then bam, there you go. Now put that shit in your belly. Okay, get it in your belly, baby. Get it in your belly, and you'll be okay. Okay, I'm gonna get ABT. I'm gonna see one day if I get ABT to talk about some things, ladies. We gonna start. I think I'm thinking about moving the channel. To we're gonna talk about health. We're gonna talk about job, but it's gonna be. I think I'm thinking about centering around women in particular. Okay, hey, no red pill. We don't need to uh bash the red pill no more. I gave up. I'm giving up. Okay. I figure we got enough men who know the right information and they should share it with men. Right? And that's it. And I'm done. Okay. I'm done. I'm way past being a mama. I'm at grandma stage. Grandma stage is she wanna live her life and she want to be with her grandkids. I want to have fun with my. I don't even want to really teach my grandson, but I want to share some knowledge with him because I definitely don't want him to be out here like these red pill men. So I am going to make a stream called "I Surrender," uh, and I surrender to the men, or I'm gonna pass the baton on to the men, and I don't give a damn no more. And ladies, we gonna just start having fun. If the men come over and talk, cool. But I'm gonna be focused on women. Okay. So I think I'm gonna start it. I will make some thumbnails if y'all think I need them, if I need some thumbnails. But if y'all need me to start doing that, then we're going to start that on Monday. I will do a morning show. It will be a morning going to the evening, and I will make some thumbnails. I'm giving y'all now a heads up on the type of things we'll be talking about. Women improvement. We're gonna talk about everything woman. Okay, we're gonna talk about everything woman. We're gonna talk about confidence. We're gonna talk about fashion. We're gonna talk about being educated and feminine. We're gonna talk about leadership, community over competition. Okay, because remember, I always speak that there's a few women, there's women who compete. A lot of women not afraid to compete, right? Because the men, when it comes to men, that's usually what you end up doing. But you don't have to though. You don't have to participate, and you don't have to. Some women thrive on that's what they want to do. They'll come and take your man just because. I think that's dirty. Okay, they'll come and destroy whole families and everything without So we not gonna promote that type of bull crap over here. Um, we're gonna redefine beauty. Stop letting these men call you ugly and say that you too skinny or you too fat or you too this and you too that. Okay, we're gonna talk about aging with confidence. Cause bitch, I didn't age with confidence, bitch. I didn't age with confidence. Okay. Um, let's see. We're gonna talk about being strong and strong. Being strong is beautiful. Why would why be why would strength equals masculinity? Why would that? We even gonna talk about um look, y'all wonder where I'm getting these good words from because I use Chat GBT, bitch. I use Chat GBT. Listen, um, I have a teacher, you know, I ain't gonna tell y'all her name. ABT is her name, but I said I wasn't gonna tell her. And I asked her how to use Chat GPT, and she said, "Girl, this is what you need to do about." Now she may think, I'm not saying I'm joking when I say she probably think I don't be listening, but I be listening, honey. I be listening. I be paying attention. So I asked Chat GBT exactly the way she told me to ask something else. I use it all the time to say, provide me with 5 unique women topics to talk about and write about that is very popular and important in 2026. And baby, it gave me some shit. I'm excited about the channel going forward. Uh, I used to be uh pro, my channel in the very beginning was focused on relationships. I used to say, okay, relationships. I'm pro marriage, right? Pro marriage. But I wouldn't so I used to be over here saying things and letting the women know, yeah, all these men aren't the same. But now I don't give a damn if they the same or not. We gonna focus on us. And if y'all with me, y'all gonna have to be with me. But let me tell you something. If I start putting in this work, y'all gonna have to support the channel. Okay? Because now y'all want me to make thumbnails and shit. I gotta make thumbnails. I'm gonna be here on time every morning. We'll come up with a time. Um, so many hours. I'm okay with going so many hours, to get y'all through work and everything that y'all doing. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I I think we're gonna do good. Okay. Chat GPT gonna keep me, y'all gonna keep me on point. Chat GPT gonna help give me some ideas. And now that I know where my channel gonna go, y'all not gonna see me in no red pill areas having conversation with them anymore. I don't care what they do. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if they over there saying stupid shit. I don't care. I don't have no pushback for no old ass damn near 40, if not already 40 plus dudes no more. You know? I don't care. I'm getting too old to do that. Arguing with these men. If I when I go over there, it's gonna be the fight. And I'm okay with fighting. Don't get it wrong. But I to be honest, these motherfuckers getting too disrespectful. And that and makes me get disrespectful because I can. Just like they can, I can. Okay. Um I I ain't worried about no motherfuckers who crying about no food money. You understand? And I ain't worried about no dumbass women who also damn near 40, okay, and acting like they 10. I ain't got enough for them. They could come over and participate. Some of them, actually, I am going to start putting my foot down. The ones who that tried to set me up, they never allowed on my panel again. You can sit their ass in that chat, okay? And that's the farthest they can get. Once I realize somebody is set up like that, you know what I mean, and trying to destroy you, I don't want to be around those people. Actually, the truth is, if I ever would happen upon them in real life, I would beat the shit out of them. And they know that if they was in the hood and pulled some shit like that on somebody in the hood, they know that shit would happen to them. And I don't know where everybody thought I was saying I'm from. I'm very blessed. And I've been a fighter all my life. Look, Mom, I'm not acting feminine. I'm not acting feminine. Hell yeah, I am acting feminine because I am feminine. I am a woman. And yes, I'm a strong woman. And the men don't like strong women. They hate that word strong because they are weak. Only type of man who could have ever dealt with me was a strong man. A weak man wouldn't have ever been able to even come close to me. He would have been, first of all, he would have been too scared. I used to be on here telling men, hey, walk with confidence, stop acting scared. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Walk around clueless for all the hell I care. And ladies, to those of you, who might be lacking confidence and stuff like that, that's okay. We're gonna help build you up, sister. We're gonna help you. Okay. We're gonna try our best. They got some women who gonna work with you for a longer period of time. Some women, soon as you some women gonna be like, no, you should see what you see, because you live in it. But I'm gonna work with you a little more. Okay, I'm gonna always be here for you until you try to set me up, bitch. Until you try to set me up. And I notice, ladies, I know why some of y'all have less patience. Because patience only gets you uh have people thinking that you're weak. You know what I'm saying? I I found through the years that I've been around some women that I was like, they over the top. I liked it though. I ain't gonna lie. Like I find women who are just straightforward. I find that to be refreshing, to be honest. Right? I find it to be refreshing. Mainly because I know I'm not that way. I've never been like that. I only get like that when I get mad. You know what I mean? Like I only get real stern when I'm upset. When I'm upset, everything comes out. Okay. It's almost like maybe I'm holding it back intentionally, but I'm not. It's just that build up. This thing start building up and then I kind of blow. But I used to like woman spirit. Like when I first met her, her name was what was her name? It started with Angela. When woman spirit first came in, she was Angela. And I know people see fake people think everybody fake. So when I would say that I liked her, I think she thought I was being fake. But I went through that all my life. Like people would think I'm fake. They get to know me, then they realize I'm not fake. So I was okay with that. But I liked her. I and when I said I liked her, I mean I like the boldness of her. Okay. Now I don't know if that's the real her or not. From my understanding, she has pistol whipped the bitch. Okay, but they double teamed the hold over. Okay, so I don't give her no credit for double teaming a bitch to rob her. I call you a motherfucking criminal when I find that shit out. But then at least I know you hood, and if you fuck with me, I'm coming at you the way I think you might come for me. See? But what I'm saying, ladies, is I am not so bold up front, right? Only when you mess with me, I'm chill, I'm cool. I'm if we all having the same fun, like if you come over and I'm the music rocking and you rocking with me, yeah. Now the ones I don't like is the ones who will come over. They, you know, I ain't gonna mention no names. Yes, I may try not to be messy through this stream. Okay, let me tell you this. I don't like the women who, while we all are vibing, the music playing, we might even be twerking. It might be just all women. We ain't worrying about no men. It's about us. And there's some women who come, they gonna come to the party and stand to the side and just be looking and complaining. They complaining about what we doing. You know what I mean? And that's what's been going on YouTube. They complaining about what we doing, but they really want to do it. They just want to be the one who started to do it. They want everybody to be around them doing it. They like, what? Why y'all around that old woman? Come to my party over here. You know what I'm saying? Come over here. I can play that song too. I can twerk too. I can dance too. You know, and then that's when you know it's some hateration bullshit going on. Cause she could have came in, joined in with us, and then she'd be like, "Hey y'all, I'm gonna have a party next weekend," and we all will go to her shit. I'd be like, "Oh really? Okay, we gonna be hey, we going to Candy House next weekend, y'all. She gonna be doing the same thing. We gonna have some fun over there by her." That's what I would do. But nah, these bitches come in your face, sit amongst you, and then they hate what you doing, and then they want to do what you doing. And that's where we at with it. Okay? Plain and simple as that. I don't know why. I didn't make them that way. They did it that they just that way. Watch yourself around them. Once somebody tell you who they are, uh non-provoked, anything people do non-provoked like that, that's believable. And I always said, hey, first of all, I told you I was going through menopause. Secondly, I always said, hey, don't cross me. Don't cross me. Okay? These motherfuckers be faking in the motherfucker. Come in your face, come on my panel talking about, hey, Bob, baby, everybody. Why won't anybody just say it? Why nobody want to say it? And everybody up here was like, say what? We didn't even know what the hell she was talking about. Fake ass, phony ass bitches. They could come to the party as soon as I notice that they just watching the hate, I'm gonna go and twerk on their ass. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna bend over, right on them. Okay, they gonna hate me for real, baby. When I start to bouncing that ass, they gonna be like, "How you do that?" Now they want to join in, but then when they join in, they want to go somewhere else to talk about you. Y'all should have saw what Bob. You know that's what she sounded like when she came up here to me. Like as if she knew something and she couldn't wait to get it out. She couldn't wait to rap on somebody. Like god damn. Anyway, So yeah, but Chat GBT and me, we're gonna be cool together. We're gonna be cool. I shouldn't have told people how to do that, huh? Look at that. You mean Bob not a hater? Bob is sharing, so other people might can do the same thing. Is that what's going on? Somebody shared it with me, shared it with me, and I pushed it forward. I I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not acting like I came up with the idea, and I'm not thinking forward. Okay. I hear somebody downstairs. The motherfucker keep knocking at my door. They want to come and tear up my bathroom, but they should have called first. Okay. I'm not answering that door until my hubby is here. Okay. He gonna have to be here. Hubby gonna have to be here. So as far as they concerned, I don't care what they could think. Whether they think I'm not answering, or whether they think I'm asleep, or whether they think I'm not here. I don't know what they think, and I don't give a damn. Uh, I should have had warning. Okay. Even though they want me to go turn off my water, but I'm about to jump in the shower and then I'll turn it off. I guess I don't mind turning it off. Uh, hey, who is that? Mark, Mark, that's you. Hey, somebody at my house. My youngest should be at work. My oldest should be at work too, unless he's still sick. Let me let me grab this gun. God damn. Shit. Somebody out there. If they ain't answering. Why I always try to go down. God, let me go see. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Let me go see in this goddamn house. I hear somebody and the camera is not on. I need to fix that thing. Oh, who that is? Well, why? Listen, if I couldn't hear you, boy, you scared me. Why you don't work today? Oh, okay. Okay. My kid's gonna get shot by me. I'm gonna be the shot them by accident. I don't know why they play with me. I don't know why my sons play with me, okay? And when I say shot, they're gonna get shot by accident. Because when I say, "Hey, who is that?" I know my youngest is at work. I know the hubby is at work. I never know when the oldest. I don't know his schedule. You know, he be here, he don't be here. I don't be knowing nothing. I don't know if he by a girl house. I don't know if he at work. Or should I say a woman? I gotta stop calling these young ladies girls because they're not girls no more. Because my sons are not boys anymore. So anyway, he might be about a young lady. So I don't be knowing, okay? And I don't even care. It ain't my business. But they better answer me when I say, "Hey, who is that?" Because I do reach for the gun. And look, I normally reach for it way quicker. If I wasn't on here with y'all, I would have been hurry up getting the getting the gun, and I would have cocked that bitch and went out there. Like who there? I got to get the camera fixed. I got to get the camera fixed down there. I think it might be unplugged. But you keep telling me it's not connected. But I have had it for like 15 years. Um, I don't know if they like do they go dead? Do they die? That one's plugged in hard in the plug down there. So it's not batteries. It don't need batteries. It's not connected. I unplugged it, plugged it back up. It didn't connect. So I don't know what's going on. So I might need to get a new one, which I do have a couple of them on here. Just need to post them up. And then I'll be able to see who here. Okay? See who here. Now let me tell you why. When the camera started acting up, I didn't really care about it because I found that people People, these motherfucking companies, because ours was with a company. I have some new ones that won't be with a company. You know when these people get hacked, it don't just hack just your email and shit. For those of us with any camera access, where these people have access to our cameras and shit like that, um, because they do store shit there. It depends on how your service was, but the way my service was, it was with my cable company, and motherfucker could be watching you all in the, on the net somewhere. Okay, and I go downstairs. I'm nobody's here. I might run sprint down there with nothing on. You know what I mean? Being a sprint down there with nothing, I'll be like, nobody's here. Boom, run downstairs, grab something out the kitchen or some sewing stuff, and come back up. And the camera's right there. Okay, and then they can hear you now. Like they used to, the cameras used to be where they could, just see you. Now there's sound. There's sound both ways actually. They can hear me, and if they talk, well, not they not gonna talk. But didn't y'all know they caught this maybe about 10 years ago? There was a special where people was talking through the baby cams to people's children while the baby's in there sleeping and shit. The mother is listening, just watching. The mother just watching, and then they found that people was also watching the kids but talking to them through those baby cams. Yes. That's when I found out that them things was two-way, even though they didn't tell us they was two-way at first. And all they had to do was push a button and then sell it you extra. They be like, hey, you can have your camera be two-way now. And I was like, oh, do I have to buy it? A new camera? They said, no, all we gotta do is push a button. I said, what? I have always had a multi um voiceover IP camera without knowing it. The hell you talking about? I started being suspicious. Why would they have that in our house and not tell us? Not until they want to sell that option to you. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I'm gone. Um, y'all have fun. I know I usually go all day, but these people gonna be coming here and tearing up my house. I don't know if I'm gonna let them, to be honest. But the only reason I'm thinking about doing it, and I probably will do it, is because the neighbor house is flooded. But it just makes no sense. How is our pipes flooding your house but not our house? So I'm gonna go in that bathroom. I'm gonna take everything from under the cabinets. Be- Uh, and we're gonna see because if the leak is where they claim that it is, then in the back of my cabinet should be soaked. In fact, if it's if it was us, should I say, my kitchen would be flooded, living room would be flooded just like theirs, and my bathroom up here will be flooded. Them people came out and tested. They got water. It don't, and then their insurance say, well, maybe the homes are leaning. I mean, the floor is leaning to where the water is going that way. So that don't make no sense, man. What the hell are you talking about? That the houses is not leaning. He tried, how you have a wall, how you have a floor and there's an area where the water puddles, that's because it has a lead. Is he saying their house is leaning? And so all our water is coming from our side and because their house leaning, it don't make no sense. But once I let them people open that wall, I can't let them do that without the insurance approval. So that's who I was talking to. Insurance got to approve that shit because if them neighbors convince us to let them open my wall and they decide not to repair it, then that gonna be on me and hubby, and that ain't happening. Okay, so that's why it got to be. We got to get the approval. Mother be to open our wall and they find out that it what ain't us. They they're not gonna want to put that shit back together. They might say, "Oh no," and then I need to know if they put it back together tonight. Like I'm not. We're not gonna have no open walls to their place. Hell no. As a matter of fact, all the way fuck no. What's going on? They want to open my wall to their wall in the bathroom. Nah, I'm about to talk to them people before. But they did. I gave him the idea. I was like, I could look under the cabinet. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, we could go under the cabinet." And I guess that's when I could close the cabinet and make sure they can't see in the bathroom. But um, I thought it was fixed because they didn't say nothing in a minute. I thought maybe they found it somewhere else. I do feel sorry for the people though, but I'm not putting myself in a position in a predicament. Uh, my niceness could be sometimes it could be. I mean, I told y'all when I picked up strangers. Now I realize how they could have hit me in the back of the head, even though I had the gun. I put myself in unnecessary danger. I had the gun, right? And but I agreed to take a woman somewhere. She was outside. She asked for a ride. And then when I said I agreed, and then all of a sudden a man walked up. She was like, "Come on, son." Like what? I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. That shit was great. She said, "Come on, hun." I didn't even see him nowhere in sight. She was a white woman. He was a black man. So even if I did see him, I didn't notice that they were together because they wasn't nowhere near. She asked, could she get a ride? And then all of a sudden it was, come on, hun. And then uh he was trying to get in the seat behind me, and I asked him to get on the other side, right? I asked him to get on, don't get behind me. Uh, because I'm like, so I kept looking in the rearview mirror so I could see him. I'm looking at him, he looking at her. She didn't change the location of where she was going. You know what I mean? And because she asked me, could she get a ride going to the Walmart? And since I live right behind the Walmart, I was like, sure. And then all of a sudden, come on, hun, they get in. Now while I'm driving, right? They didn't say, oh, well, we going to so and so. And I was like, well, look, I don't know where you're going, but I'm about to pull in this Walmart parking lot. So, I actually told her, well, no, I'm going to Walmart, even though I wasn't going to Walmart, right? I told her that I was going to Walmart. And so that's the far as I'm going with you. Now you telling me you're going to Walmart, okay? And then now you in my car, and now you want to go somewhere else because he on the other side. I guess they figured we ain't gonna be able to do this in this short period of time. They know that I got the weapon because you could see it on me. Right. Once I saw him, and I guess I could have said, nah, nah. But I don't know. That's my niceness. Shit I done that could have put myself in danger, you know. But I didn't think of it back then like that. But, you know, with her, I sized her up and knew I'd take her. I wouldn't have to use the gun to beat her ass if something went down. But here we go with this big ass dude. So this big ass dude done caught me off guard. Then he wanted to sit behind me. So I was like, no, cause you need to get on the other side. And then this motherfucker, we close to the wall, but it wasn't even that far away, but it was a good walk though. You know how in a car it's nothing, but if you're walking it, you might be walking for an hour. Depends on how fast you walk. Hold up. I don't know what it again. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm take this allergy pill. I said that before, but I didn't take it. Yeah. The allergy pill might make me sleepy. Okay. Because I was up last night. The wine, I was messing around with the wine. Okay, let me see. I just noticed I never put the link in the chat. God damn. No wonder I'm up here by my goddamn self. I'm sorry, yeah. Listen, um, we're gonna start doing a morning show, or whenever I do the show, I'll come up with the time, um, to where when y'all can get ready for work, go to work, all that. We're gonna focus on women things. It'll be all over. Of course, it's gonna be all over the place at some time, but I will come up with topics that will be beneficial for us. We're gonna focus on us. No, I have no more time to focus on me. In fact, my sons are grown. I don't even, you know what I mean? Like anything they run into, anything they don't know at this point is because they didn't want to know it. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm no longer educating my sons, then shit. And the education that I do give to my grandson is on some kindergarten, first grade, second grade level. And that's the farthest I want to go. I'm gonna take my time with my grandson. And I ain't got time to be on this bitch with these niggas. Because we find out as soon as they don't get what they want, um, then we know these niggas not loyal. Okay? I happen to be one of them loyal type of people until you cross me. As long as you don't cross me, I'm loyal. You know what I mean? Like I don't be giving a damn. You ain't gotta do this for me. You ain't gotta do that for me. If you rocking with me, I rock with you. We gotta do nothing for each other. I'm not based on no money. Okay. I ain't never say, hey, you gotta give me money. Some of y'all been here forever and I ain't never bother y'all about no money. See what I'm saying? So wait a minute. So and I realized though that was something I was asking for. And that, right? At least a little loyalty, at least where you ain't got to fight for me nothing like that, but at least where you won't be deciding to fight me for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, God damn, I ain't ask you for no money. I let you come over. You got the freedom of this, that, and the third. Um, and as soon as you want to pop out and show somebody, that's what you want to do. On talentless little bitches. Okay? I heard one of these niggas was crying about some food money. That nigga said I finessed him. Then you got finessed, nigga. Look, we ain't there's no look, I was trying to when I was trying to be friend, in a cool way, then I do care about what my friends think that I might be doing. Nigga, you got finessed if you got finessed. If that's what you call it, then that's what it was. Okay? What it was is what it was. And because it already happened, it is what it is. That's the way it go, baby. You got finessed by an old chick, an old raggedy, broke, ugly, bum ass bitch. That's who you got finessed by. Now go and tell everybody that again. Say it loud. Say it proud. I got finessed by an old broke bitch. and listen, I don't think I don't want to look dumb in that situation. I think what happens is the person who got finessed look like a motherfucking fool. Okay? Go tell your boys you got finessed by an old broke ass bum ass bitch. And see what they say. They gonna laugh at your dumb ass. Okay? And like I am. I'm laughing at your dumb ass. Okay? Motherfucker say, I got finesse. She took my money. She took my so some kind of way I done robbed this nigga. Some kind of way I done popped out. And I ain't never met him before, seen him before, never talked to him before. But some kind of way I done robbed this nigga. Nigga, stop playing with me, nigga. And I don't know what else you said in the video because I ain't watched. But I do know you did a video, you know. And I don't give a damn that you did a video. I just want you to know, nigga, if you crying about some food. And see, I told y'all, I told your old girl told me that. She let it slip that he was still mad about that. But that might be a part of the skit, though. The skit might be, hey, I'm gonna act like I'm mad about this, and then we gonna go at it. And Rude has done this to people before. Okay, Rude had one young lady thinking that she was his number one. I forgot what he called it. Forgot exactly what the term was. And when he got mad at her, he put her nudes out there and everything. Oh, and then if he wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't even know about this fuck nigga and his actions because she couldn't wait to get his ass back. So look, it took her some time, and then she got the knowledge. And once she got the knowledge, she gave it to the right person. And when she gave it to that person, it was all over. Okay. The only reason you still on this bitch, nigga, is because some of us, because I know that was a shameful motherfucking thing. Okay. At one time, you couldn't go nowhere. No niggas would be like, nigga, what did you here for? Okay. Anyway, bye everybody. I have to go contend with this water situation because the people they property. I don't even have to contend with this. The insurance say, hey, so the insurance sent somebody out to do a test, a water test, pressure test, and everything. And the test concludes that it's not us. That's gonna make it very difficult for the insurance to get involved again because they're gonna be like, as far as they're concerned, the professionals say it's not us. For us to then start participating with the neighbors, I think that's the insurance might not like that. That might be a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because they may our insurance gonna want their insurance to put money and prove it. So so they might then claim we shouldn't have. They might claim that we shouldn't have did certain things, and then everything will be on us. Okay, so we're going to talk to the partners and see what we're gonna do. Okay, I need to. So I'm gonna go look underneath. I need to pull some things out from in that bathroom. Cause yeah, of course we wouldn't want. We don't want wall. We don't want our walls wet and getting mold neither, right? We don't want that. But so I'm about to go look. I'm gonna pull everything from in that bathroom, and I'm gonna investigate. And if it's coming from us, our wall should be at least wet, damn, at least damn. We would have been able to visually see that water running constantly for now 3 weeks. We would see that water Okay, they saw it right away. It's flooding up their whole living room. How is it flooding up their whole living room, but it's not flooding up anything over here? That don't make sense. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. Let me go ahead and do this stuff. I may be back this evening, and if I am, I don't know. Okay, uh, since I'm in my mode right now, deciding that I'm gonna focus on the channel a little bit. I might be doing some work and figuring out what we're gonna do. But I hope that you all support, and what I mean by that, y'all come and y'all see me live. If y'all got a time frame that y'all think y'all prefer, because I want y'all to have options. It's okay. You go somewhere else. I'm not going over there anymore. Okay. Um, but I'm not talking negatively about him neither. See what I'm saying? So, uh, and I'm talking about Sharon right now. I'm not talking negatively about it. I don't have no problem with him as far as him as a person or none of that. He he put out some good content. I'm just not no longer being a part of it. I'm not hoping or nothing. I'm not hoping to build nobody else. And then they mistreat me. They don't see the value in which I bring. Fuck out of here. I don't like that. Okay. He has the right to do what he wants on his channel. And I got a right to realize, okay, he don't think I bring value. You know what I'm saying? I think he think he can sit up there for hours, and I think he think all the women would sit there and just listen to him for hours. We all know that's not true, right? We may listen to him and some other people fight back and forth. That's what we may listen to. We ain't gonna sit there for hours, uh, just listening to John. Okay, bye everybody. I might that might be a little messy right now, but I'm just saying y'all could go where y'all want. Like if y'all think, hey Bob, we might want to be over there, you may should do your show in later. I'm okay with that too. Y'all know I'm okay with coming on maybe about it may not be in the morning, maybe about 12 o'clock, start the show. Um 12 to maybe, 12 to whenever. I think that's what I might do. I'll think about the time. But we gonna focus on women. Women. Okay? We're gonna talk about our health, our education, uh everything. Everything woman. I might call it everything's woman. Everything woman. Hell, and watch. How much you want to bet in like 6 months to a year, there gonna be some women claiming that mom can't have a channel unless you talk about women. They're gonna be like,